What if you never had to convince somebody to buy from you again? Not because you got better at sales, but because by the time you got on the call, they already know, like, and trust you. This is what good marketing does. I've spent 14 years in B2B marketing, and I've watched this play out so many times. The companies closing the most deals aren't necessarily lucky or have the best sales teams. They're the ones that do the work before people ever get on the call. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what that looks like and how you can start applying great marketing principles to sell more in your business. Who remembers life in the 90s? Do you remember when somebody would come over to your house unannounced, the doorbell would ring, and everyone just runs to the door because we wanted to see who it was? I remember my sister and I, we were always hoping it was one of our brother's cute friends, and we'd go running over to the door to see if we could say hi or catch a glimpse of him. It's a totally different thing now. Now the doorbell rings and it's like, everyone hide. Don't let anyone know we're here, because likely it's somebody trying to sell us some offer that we don't want or don't need. We live in a totally different world today, where instead of the doorbell ringing, it's our phone pinging us. And in general, we're more untrustworthy of people. You never know who's gonna hornswoggle you, as my father would say. And a lot of this is due to AI and these horrible stories we've heard about people being catfished. And we tend to be a little bit more guarded with our time and our resources. We don't just hand over 30-minute blocks of time to anybody who asks us on LinkedIn, right? What's the first thing you do when someone reaches out to you with a cold connection on LinkedIn? Likely you go to their profile, you see if you have any mutual connections, anybody that can vouch for them, build some trust and credibility, right? Maybe you do a background check if you're a little crazy like that.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
We don't trust people and we want receipts. We want somebody to tell us, hey, this person's legit, I can trust them. There's a lot you can find online about somebody, and we do a lot of work before entering into a single conversation with a new person. The data backs this up too. Let me read you something. Gartner found that B2B buyers spend somewhere around 17% of their entire purchase journey, wait for it, in the meeting. 17%. That means that 83% happens outside of the room. Who's selling for you when you're not in the room? That's the question you need to be asking.
Well, next question.
CEB and Google found something similar. The average buyer is already 57% of the way through their decision before they ever talk to a sales rep. Let me make this absolutely clear. More than 50% of the buying journey happens before you ever speak one word to your prospect. That's crazy. We need to be making sure that your business is selling itself, that your customers are selling your business before you're in the room. So what does that even mean, that your business sells itself before you're in the room? Well, if we think about what does standard sales training say? It says, 1, listen to your prospect. 2, speak their language, meet them where they are. So you can't come in hot with your offer, right? You need to warm them up, build a relationship, build trust. And one of the best ways to do that is by having other people talk about you. Have you ever been in the situation where you have mutual friends with somebody and you've never met that person, but you hear about them over and over? And this person's telling you one story and this person's telling you another. And finally, one day you meet this person and you shake their hand and you say, oh my gosh, it feels like I already know you.
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
That is the exact feeling that you want your buyer to have when they come into a meeting with you. You want them to hear all of the stories, all of the good things about you before you're even there, before you're right in front of them. And eventually, enough stories are told that they're no longer stories. You've actually created a belief. And a belief is what actually sells. It's not information, it's not logic. Humans buy stories. So once you've built this trust and this relationship with your audience, sales calls are no longer about selling, they're about confirming the beliefs that you've already planted. By the way, if you want leads coming to your calls already pre-sold, that's exactly what we do. Check the link in the description below to learn more. So when you think about stories, you might think, oh, a case study is a story. I have one of those on my website, we're covered. That doesn't cut it anymore. You may have heard of this thing. It starts with an A, ends with an I. It's completely transformed marketing in general. Your website is no longer a top of funnel moment in your buyer's journey. Your website is really one of the last things people go to before they book a call or before they convert to a paid customer. So you need to start bringing social proof up the funnel. And what is social proof? Social proof is a psychological phenomenon. It's a psychological phenomenon where humans trust what other crowds and groups of humans are doing. So that's why we put logos on our website. That's why when we go to a restaurant, we go to crowded restaurants. We don't want to go somewhere where no one is. It tips us off to maybe other people don't trust this place. Maybe it's not good. We kind of want to follow the crowd, right? So when we think about social proof in B2B, we need to start thinking about all of the moments that create the story, that create the belief in your brand. Trust isn't built in a single moment. It's built in a pattern that shows up time and time again, that it's no longer a coincidence, but it's truth. Different types of proof are best used in different places of the journey. For example, emotional social proof, like stories, are best used at the top of the funnel, like in social media and ads, and maybe even email marketing. And more logical, fact-based social proof is best used on your website. But the fact remains that you need to become visible in 2026, and the best way to do that is through stories. Okay, so let's talk more about this whole story thing. And what does that mean? Because it feels a little abstract right now. You created your business, whatever that is, a software, a service, whatever you do that you're an expert in. You likely did not choose that path so that you could become a social media influencer or content creator, right? So if the double life of content creator isn't for you, there's another way that you can tell stories. And it's a little simpler than you might think. You just have your customers tell your stories for you. And you don't need a huge production. You just need a conversation that's recorded. And then you can go and take that recording to create any type of social proof that you want. The trick here though, is that you really need a system. If you do something one-off, it becomes kind of hard. Honestly, I've been there. That's why I created my business. Doing one-off social proof videos is annoying at best. And that's why when you create a system, you're leveraging compound interest. Every single story you tell gets more efficient, gives you more information, and helps you convert more customers like the best ones you already have. Now that we've discussed the fact that you don't need to be a content creator, I also want to leave you with this. You don't need to be a teacher. Information is everywhere. Content marketing for the last 20 years has really been about how can we give people more information so that we look credible, so that we look like thought leaders and people will trust us for their expertise. But the reality is information is everywhere. People can ChatGPT or Google literally anything. Your goal today in your content marketing needs to be about building trust, building relationship, and building connections. People aren't hiring you for the framework per se. They're hiring you because of the relationship that you build with your clients. And that is what you're showing with these customer stories. You're showing them a reflection of the relationship that they want with a professional or with a business just like you. And all you really need to get started is 1 or 2 customers to sit down, have a recorded conversation. And if you need help with this, that's what I'm here for.
Stop it. Get some help.
So the companies that sell without selling, it's not necessarily about better speaking skills or viral social media content. It's about sharing proof and receipts from actual customers and making that visible to your audience. If you want help turning your leads into pre-sold customers before they ever enter into a sales conversation with you, book a call at the link in the description box below. We'll walk through what that looks like for your specific company. And if you want a full breakdown on how to capture client testimonial videos, watch the next video below. See you there.